Hi everyone, this is David Nilsson, creator and host of Bean to Barstool, and today I want to talk to you about ideas for beer tasting party themes. Hosting a beer tasting in your home for your friends or family can be a really fun way to hang out and learn a little bit about beer at the same time, especially as we head into the colder months and spend more time indoors. I have a new blog post up on beantobarstool.com that's a comprehensive guide to hosting your own beer tasting at home, so you can head there to find out everything you need to know to host a fun evening of tasting craft beer, including details on planning the evening, how to taste beer, what things to have on hand for the event, and some details you might not think about. There's a link to that post in the show notes of this bonus episode, so you can check out that guide when you're done listening. What I don't talk about in that guide, however, is theme ideas for your beer tasting, so I want to share some ideas for your party theme here. You don't have to theme your beer tasting, of course, but a themed beer tasting can be a fun way to get buy-in from your guests so they fully commit to the experience. The first theme idea is to taste through beers from a particular nation's brewing traditions. Beer is a global beverage with centuries of history in numerous countries, so picking a country with a rich brewing heritage and tasting through their beer styles can be fun and educational. You could choose Germany, Belgium, England, the Czech Republic, or many others for your tasting. If you're wondering how to get beers from these places, it's important to know you don't actually have to find beer imported from other countries in order to enjoy their beer styles. There are almost 9,000 American craft breweries, and they brew beer styles from all over the map. It's possible to find excellent examples of beers from most of the world's brewing cultures, most especially from the major European brewing nations, from American craft breweries. Just head to your local bottle shop and browse the shelves, or ask an employee for beers from a particular tradition. If you're hosting a beer pairing, you can even prepare dishes from the same country, but of course please be respectful of that culture's rich culinary heritage when doing so. Another great idea is to go with a seasonal theme. Breweries often release special beers at different times of year, and many beer styles are traditional for specific times of year. In the fall, you could host an Oktoberfest tasting and sample different German Fest beers and Marzens, or taste through pumpkin and other fall spice beers, taste wet and fresh hop beers brewed just after the hop harvest, or do a general fall tasting including all of these options. You can do the same for winter and holiday beers as well. You can combine the seasonal and national theme idea as well. How about a tasting of Irish beer styles around St. Patrick's Day in March, Scottish beer styles around Burns Day in January, or Mexican beers around Cinco de Mayo or Hispanic Heritage Month? One thing that makes craft beer so much fun is also something that can make it really confusing. There are a lot of different kinds of beer. There are over 100 recognized styles and plenty of hybrids between them, and beers that don't fit into any particular style. One way to try to make sense of that jumble is to host a beer tasting exploring a specific family of styles. For example, you could host a tasting of IPAs. Not all IPAs are the same, and there are over a dozen sub-styles within the IPA family. Head to a bottle shop and look for different options, or ask an employee for recommendations, and you and your friends can taste the differences and figure out which sub-styles you like more than others. You can do the same with barrel-aged beers, sour beers, lagers, stouts and porters, beers with specific ingredients like coffee or chocolate, or numerous other style families. If you want to get even more specific, you can do what we call a horizontal tasting. No, that doesn't mean you end up lying on the floor. It means tasting through different beers in the same style. This can be a great way to find your favorite beer within a given style. If you don't want to focus on styles, traditions, or seasons, you can always host a tasting to celebrate local beer. Pick beers brewed in your city or state. This is a great option if you're having your guests bring the drinks. Have them bring their favorite local beer. Just make sure to find out what they're planning to bring so you don't end up with repeats. Beer tastings can be so much fun, whether you theme them or not. I've got all the info you need to host your own tasting party in the guide at beantobarstool.com. The link is in the show notes. But if you want to enjoy your tasting without all the stress of planning, you can have me plan it for you instead. As a professional beer educator and advanced cicerone, I love guiding people through the process of tasting and discovering great beer. Get in touch with me through social media or at beantobarstool@gmail.com to discuss hosting a virtual beer tasting or beer and chocolate pairing. I hope you find this quick bonus episode of Bean to Barstool helpful. I can't wait to hear about how your tasting goes. Cheers, and thanks for listening to Bean to Barstool.